You know that smell? That incredible smell of fresh bread mixing with ancient cobblestones? Well, that's the real scent of Rome, and today we are chasing it down. We're going to build you the ultimate insider's guide to Trastevere, but we're skipping all the usual tourist traps and going straight to the heart of the neighborhood. It's amazing, authentic bakeries.
So, you're planning a trip to Rome, right? And everyone tells you you have to go to Trastevere. It's famous for a reason. You're probably picturing those gorgeous ivy-covered buildings and charming cobblestone streets. But once you actually get there, what's the plan? And that brings us to the real question. With so many choices, how do you find the genuine spots? How do you dodge the overpriced tourist cafes and find the places where actual Romans go for their daily bread and pastries? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out right now. Okay, first things first. You need to know one crucial word. It's Forno. You're not just looking for a bakery. A Forno, well, that's the traditional cornerstone of a Roman neighborhood. It's where you're going to find the real deal, the good stuff, far from anything made just for tourists.
Let's kick things off with the savory side of things. We're diving into the classic Roman Forno and its absolute mastery of simple, delicious street food that's been perfected over, generations.
And the undisputed king of that street food? It's pizza bianca. Now, I want you to forget everything you think you know about white pizza. In Rome, this is a beautiful, airy flatbread, all dimpled and glistening with olive oil and a perfect sprinkle of salt. But here's the secret, the most important rule. It has to be eaten hot, literally fresh out of the oven.
And if you want the best, the hottest, the freshest pizza bianca in Trastevere, there's one place that is practically legendary. You have to start at La Ranella.
Now, this isn't a place you just find with a map. No, you find this place with your nose. It's described perfectly here. Its aroma literally stops people in their tracks on the street. It's that powerful. Seriously, you will smell the baking bread long before you ever see the sign.
So what's the secret here? What makes it so special? Well, of course, their pizza bianca is famous. But the real magic, it comes from their massive wood-fired oven. And get this, it's fueled by hazelnut shells. Just think about that for a second. That's where that unforgettable kind of sweet, toasty aroma comes from. The vibe is just pure energy. Iconic, always busy, and it smells absolutely heavenly.
Okay, La Ranella is an icon, for sure. But what if you want to see where the locals go for their everyday loaf of bread? For that, we're going to head to Panificio San Cosimato. This is a totally different, but just as classic, Roman experience. This spot is the perfect example of a true neighborhood bakery. It's right next to the local market, where people are doing their daily shopping. It's a total no-frills place. They specialize in these amazing crusty loaves of bread and Pizza Rossa. That's the one with a simple, perfect tomato sauce. The best part? It feels completely untouched by tourism. This is where you go to see real daily Roman life in action.
All right, let's switch gears. We've done savory, now it's time for the sweet stuff. And Trastevere has this amazing contrast between these historic, old-world shops that feel like they're frozen in time and these sleek, new, modern pastry spots. First up, we are stepping into a time machine. This place is Biscottifio Innocenti, and it's less of a bakery and more of what you might call a factory of cookies. And you're about to see why. And here's why they call it a factory. Just look at this oven. It is an absolutely massive vintage machine that is 16 meters long. That's over 50 feet. You can see this incredible piece of history working right from the street. And it has been the heart and soul of this family shop for generations. It's just wild. So here's the thing you have to understand about this place. They are specialists. They've been in business since the 1920s, and they focus only on dry biscuits and tea pastries. This is not a cafe. You're not going to find coffee here. You're not going to find pizza. It is purely and wonderfully a temple dedicated to the Italian cookie. All right, continuing our little journey into the past, we arrive at Pasticceria Valsani. Now, if Innocenti is a factory, then Valsani is a time capsule. This place has been around since 1925, and walking in here feels like you've stepped into another era, with all the dark wood paneling and vintage displays. They're famous for these super traditional Roman holiday sweets, but here's the twist. One of their most beloved items is a surprisingly incredible soccer tort. That's right, a classic Viennese chocolate cake, perfected right in the heart of Rome. And this contrast really gets to the heart of Trastevere's charm. On one hand, you've got the old school, a place like Innocenti, vintage, family-run, dedicated to Italian biscuits for a century.
And then, practically around the corner, you have the new school, Le Levant. It's modern, it's polished, and it's bringing high-end French pastry and a Parisian vibe to Rome. This is the top spot for a perfect croissant.
Okay, let's talk about one of the most important Roman rituals, breakfast. It is a quick, delicious, and very specific thing, and it usually involves coffee, cream, and of course, pastries.
And when you talk about a Roman breakfast pastry, you have to talk about the Maritozzo campana. It's this wonderfully soft, sweet bun that's sliced open and just filled to overflowing with lightly sweetened whipped cream. I mean, it is pure indulgence.
But you don't want the giant, over-the-top tourist version. You want an authentic one, right? Away from the main crowds? Well, the answer is a little spot called I Dolci di Cecco.
Now, what's so cool about this place is that their famous Maritozzo is actually a bit smaller and lighter than others, which makes it the perfect way to start your day. But the experience is key here. You have a quick, standing breakfast at the counter with your coffee, just like a real Roman. It's an authentic local spot with no tourist markup whatsoever. So we have covered a lot of ground, from savory to sweet, from historic to modern. Let's put it all together into a guide that you can actually use. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet to Trastevere's bakeries.
All right, let's break it down. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is simple. For that iconic, aromatic, perfect pizza bianca experience, your destination is La Ranella. If you want to step back in time for traditional cookies, you're going to the cookie factory, Biscottificio Innocenti. Craving a flawless Parisian-style croissant? Le Levant is your spot. And for that true Roman breakfast ritual, it is a quick coffee and a lighter Maritozzo at I Dolci di Cecco.
So there you have it. That is your insider's map to the true taste of Trastevere, straight from the ovens that feed the neighborhood. The only question left is, when you get there, which one of these incredible cravings are you going to follow first?